Alright, our last recording cut off abruptly. I wasn't paying attention to the time on it, but I just spent the last couple minutes finishing up the touches on my little Gek character here. These are my favorite guys. Closest things to a kobold you can get. Oddly enough, their height actually does change when you're in first person camera mode. How low to the ground you are, which I have had issues with how short the Gek are on some planets because they are shorter than the grass, which makes seeing some things on certain plains planets a little bit tedious. Anyway, for our mission, where we left off at, we gotta go back to, I don't know, we gotta reach the distress signal coordinates, which is the encoded message has been stored for later use. We're gonna use the teleport terminus to return to your base. So I was right. I just came all the way down here for no reason. Boo. One thing to note, my controls are slightly customized. And by that I mean I changed one control, button layout setting. And that is switching scanner from L3 to R3. Because I cannot stand having to press R3 to sprint. It's counterintuitive to almost every other game out there. And I like to get my controls between different games as close to the same as possible. And here we are, back at the base. We gotta find our little terminal here. We need to begin decryption. We're decoding all the 16s. And we need to find the space. So, where did it decide to park my ship?
Radiation protection.
Is that on the same planet we are already on? It is. Now, as you can see, even going as fast as you can, the time is an hour. That's holding down the acceleration button. If you just use the basic acceleration mode, it's gonna take still an hour, but you move at about 350 out of 26 at 3.5, 2.6. A little bit less than 8 times slower. But engage your pulse drive. Your units per second speed becomes ridiculous. And you can just kind of mosey around. apologies, my work randomly called me, so we had to sit idle for just a little bit. Don't know if you'll recognize this, but this is actually the same planet we started on, which is interesting. We're at this little crash freighter trying to get this set up, and we gotta activate this. It'll tell us a couple of things. We'll get the log, and it's like, no log for you. Have some numbers and a message. And now we learn how to craft a hyperdrive. Which this is where you need all those microprocessors. One thing we are going to do while we are here, we're going to activate that, but we'll hold on to that one for now. So, we've got a drop pod over there that's 4 hours away on foot. And unfortunately, we got the stupid abandoned building. I hate the abandoned buildings. They're generally terrible. They're good for farming these things called whispering eggs, but they're not great early on. Now, we're going to loot all these cargo pods in this place. When you loot these, you're going to get some goops, but you're going to want to immediately run away as soon as you harvest it, because it spawns a very hefty amount of radiation. These things have the exact same layout every single time, so you don't need to worry about, oh, these are going to be in different spots. Every single one of these that you come up to will be in the exact same spot. So, and as soon as the box disappears, just sprint away.
Radiation protection falling.
This one, you can see where the broken doors are, but you actually need to go below that slightly
Ground protection falling.
to get the second panel of broken doors, so that you can access this cargo pod. Gotta go fast.
Radiation protection.
Sweet, a free antimatter housing. Since we can't craft those currently, it is essential that we get as many of those as we can for free. Then we're going to run away. And a free warp cell, that's exceptionally rare. This one should be roughly about here. If you look at this little L shape, it should be lined up right about here. As you can see, I was ever so slightly off, so it lines up better with this corner here. One downside to these stupid little door fragments is they can actually get in your way. There are 5 pods on every one of these freighters. There's the 3 that I just did. No, there's 6 pods in every freighter. There's the 4 here, 2 above ground, 2 below ground, the one over next to where your ship will park, in there, and then the last one is always right over here.
Life support power low.
And you just gotta get up to it. Forgot to wait for that to disappear.
Radiation protection falling.
And that radiation is out of hand. Especially when you don't have any sort of radiation protection or mitigation. It will absolutely wreck your hazard protection suit. So, what we're going to do now is we came here. We are going to go ahead and get the exosuit upgrade module. And for that we are going to need to craft a carbon nanotube. I just realized I'm going to be missing a key component. And that is Na+ sodium nitrate. So we are going to have to... Where are you? You're an hour. Closer. I always like to just leave the atmosphere for these because it'll save you a significant amount of travel time by just warping straight in. Now I need to get an email read up real quick when we are flying in. Stuff the goops in there for selling later. I wonder if there's any... Those are all just regular NA. I was hoping I might be able to find an NA+ crystal. Oh. Doesn't look like there's any Na+ crystals, unfortunately. There's some condensed carbon crystals over there, but I don't really care about those. So, we are going to have to harvest a bunch of ferrite dust. Because I left my portable generator back at the base. Salt we do not need or want. I'll take the dihydrogen. Take all the ferrite dust we can.
Protection falling.
That gives us enough for a metal plate. I do wish there was more carbon-based things on this barren wasteland, but there is not, and so we shall be sad. I popped that open because earlier we took that health damage from the cat. This life support gel we got earlier. Put that down there. Back in the ship. Portable reviver. Put that into there. Don't need much sodium nitrate, so we'll split the stack. That'll give us enough for 2 exosuit upgrades if we need it, or if we stumble across another one, as we currently cannot afford to buy any further antimatter housings or maps. Pick that back up.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
So we'll let our temperature stabilize while we do this. So you need 10 sodium nitrites, 1 carbon nanotube, and 1 antimatter housing.
Technology repaired.
And this gives you a free upgrade slot of your choice. Early on, as much as I would like to have more space down here, I usually end up getting technology slots. These actually cost more to upgrade than your cargo slots do at the space stations, so I like to use the free upgrade from the maps to get my tech slots, and I purchase the storage slots from the space stations every time I enter a new system. So now plug this in. I need to type this email, so I'm gonna point us in this general direction, and we're just gonna kind of float that way while I get this email typed up. There we go. Don't feel like flying for 6 minutes. So again, just leave the atmosphere and do a quick little warp. I am running low on my pulse drive. However, we should be fine thanks to the treatment I got. Just throw that in there and it recharges. Except it also doesn't recharge. Right, we install our hyperdrive. We've got enough chromatic metal. My ship's about to crash. Here we go. Ow. And that's what happens when you don't pay attention when you're coming in for a landing. You run into random things. Please tell me I did not just land on the flag. Cool. Pop these. Every one of these is worth a couple of nanites. So, early on, the biggest thing in your life is going to be acquire nanites. That is your absolute life goal. See these little eggs? You can shoot them or mine them. They pop a little seed thing that you can pick up. But if you pick it up, or as soon as you hit one of these eggs, actually, it spawns in a swarm of angry bug creatures, which we are not currently prepared for. Well, I have a bolt caster that is not fully sufficient to deal with the swarm. I don't have enough shielding and just generally excess health for that task. Gonna get us some more story about these contaminations that this guy found, and get some free nanites after we interact with it. There you go. 120 nanites, it's not bad at all. So then, well, we're gonna need 82,000 units, which means we need to find things to sell. So, what we need to do now is activate this beacon. And be sad, because we are having to use all our launch fuel. And our beacon bamboozled us and sent us literally right here. However, this is helpful because this is an observatory, which means it might find a distress signal, it might find any number of things, really, which is very nice to have. Most likely, however, it is going to find us what's the word for those? It's going to find us a monolith of some kind, an ancient relic that will either allow us to harvest what are called Gravitino balls and some relics that sell for a decent amount, or it'll just be a big monument that teaches us usually 1 to 3 words, depending on whether or not you pass the test. And that's if the monoliths have tests for you to pass. Some of them don't. Surprising how much stuff was all right next to each other in this little spot.
Protection falling.
There might even be a little guy in here that we can talk to. Sometimes they have little alien encounters inside of these places. This one does not. So we just got to come over here, activate this. A beacon sent from a distant system awaits my response. Interesting. Numbers are visible. I think I know what comes next. You have to, it's just pattern recognition. You gotta look at it, determine what the pattern is. In this case, the numbers rotate in an order. Our last one is 0217, so our next one is 2170. And it found a point in the distant stars, which means this will be a monolith. Yep. And there it is. And it's always off planet. Every time. anytime you activate the observatory, unless you get a distress beacon, they're pretty much always off the world, which is fine. We can go over there and do that. I need to do some inventory management, however, as I don't want to haul those around. Corvex casings are useful for later. Store those on the ship. We do need to keep those. Stuff those in the ship for now. Stuff the stupid refiner in the ship so we have one with us until we learn the one that goes up here. And yep, no, that's not it. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and we're going to craft as many ion batteries as we can with the 500 cobalt we have. We are not going to exceed that. Oh, there we go. We were only able to craft that because we have such a low number of ferrite dust. So maybe we can throw the sodium nitrate in the ship as well, because we'll always be able to park close enough for it to transfer over. The main reason I wasn't worried about using all that cobalt is I have 600 of it, plus this will always give me either cobalt or ionized cobalt. So now we come over here. And we transport over to the ruin. Hopefully it is a ruin with the Gravitino balls on it, because those sell for a lot. The only real downside to them is that as soon as you touch one, it triggers a Sentinel response unit to come and just generally ruin your day. But we'll see what happens. Oh, this might be a Seabound ruin, which are unique in and of themselves in the way you interact with them. I'm hoping it's not, because they are kind of tedious, and we are back on the irradiated world that houses our base. Oh, this is just a language one. Well, we're going to learn a bunch of words, and then mosey on. We'll have to find somewhere. Ping that building for now. There might be something over there that's worth it. I like to interact with all the little regular stones first, so we're going to learn 2 words from here, and then this world, or this word thing, will give us something else. Yeah, so the whole point of the Vy'keen is that they want the travelers to be able to wander through the universe unhampered, and the Sentinels always interfere with that, so the Vy'keen have been at war with the Sentinels for ages.
We just wanted left alone.
So what we're going to do now, instead of learning words, despite the fact we need to learn the words to communicate, we're going to seek knowledge of the past. That will mark another monolith, but this is one that is always going to have treasure. I prefer to learn the words just because it makes solving some of the puzzles and different things significantly easier. But it is what it is. We need the money more than we need the words right now. I do, however, want to take a look at this building. It looked like a fairly it's just one of these little guys. We'll go ahead and stop off here. We'll grab our varied technology module. Up here.
Radiation protection falling.
We'll de-goop this thing. I'm keeping all the goop right now because we need literally all the funds we can get. Hold on, I need to deal with this. Where are you? Much easier with the boltcaster.
Radiation protection falling.
And we get some encrypted navigation data. And we need to find where is. Why is it lost?
Radiation
Oh, come
protection
on. Here
falling.
it is. Right here. Now, chart that. Stack those in our ship. Stack those. And some more navigation data. Cool. Oh, Gek relic. Very nice. Go sit in the ship for now. And we have 220, so we're almost to let's see, 125 is 250. So yeah, we're almost to a full stack of ferrite dust from just those little units. Now that is an hour. Oh no, that's 10 minutes away. With it being that close, I'll stay over there, but I'll also be heading to these other little places to see what I can acquire. It's only a minute and a half of high-speed travel, so we'll go, as we head there, we'll stop off at other little points we find along the way, like these. This is a little whispering egg colony again, but we don't want to mess with that, so we're just going to go this way. Some of these buildings will have plants on the ceiling that will slap you in the face, so it's best to watch out for those. Fortunately, we're, I think, too early on for that to occur. And time for more story. And there we go. 3 nanites. There's these little bases. That's about all they're good for, is the free 120 nanites you get from walking through the door.
Radiation protection falling.
I desperately need a launch thruster improvement. That's literally just to save beacon, so we're not going to go to that one. We're only going to stop if there's like a building or something of that nature. This game is still charging. Looks like that is it. Another thing you can do, though it is somewhat disorienting, to get a better view of the terrain around you. If you fly upside down, you can actually see more of the land, because the nose of your ship blocks a significant portion of what is in front of you. So I like to fly either sideways or just full upside down, as it allows me to see a lot more of the terrain. Though every now and again it will start to make my head hurt. And I'll just stick to flying normally. Surprising lack of things around here. Alright. Now, I'm going to land over here on the edge of this. Several things are going to happen. One, there's a Gravitino ball there, which is extremely helpful. Well, what we're going to want to do is mine down these little... oh, where'd it go? Those little artifact fragments. These are just keys. You only need to find 3 of them to be able to open the artifact chest. But I'm also going through trying to build a fairly comprehensive network of tunnels. Because as soon as we pick up those Gravitino balls that are up there, we are going to be in a fight with Sentinels. So, worst case scenario, I want to be able to escape. Best case scenario, I might be able to actually fight them off to the 5th wave using the tunnels to block their shots. I hate these underground buildings because they prevent you from being able to mine these little fragments. That's a knowledge stone. That's an artifact fragment, but that's the one I already got. So now, we'll come up here. No. This one's inside of this building. This is why I generally don't like doing these. They're just a pain to navigate through. They're profitable and they're worth it, but at the same time, I just cannot afford life. Stand these stupid things. We'll go over here just to make sure. We got 5 minutes left on this recording. Unfortunate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and finish getting the artifact treasures. So y'all can see this. Takes the keys. And then you pop it open. And you get some sort of random treasure thing. Unfortunately, this one was not worth as much as we would like. Times are indeed sad. But it is what it is. So, waiting. I am going to scan. I'm going to find all of these Gravitino locations, get them exposed so that we can grab them real quick at the start of the next episode, and then do our first combat with the Sentinels. which I am poorly equipped for at best. I don't have any shield upgrades, I don't have any bolter caster upgrades. I do, however, have the combat scope, which is very nice, because that allows our L1 to give us a slight bit of zoom, making us more accurate.
Radiation protection falling.
So for now, we're going to stop this recording here and start up the next one.